Am I obsessed? Am I anal? Am I tracking data I never need? This VR was made for me. I track the decks I use. I know exactly how many times I've used all the decks in my collection. This is the Deck Recheck VR, and this is the moment all this anal data keeping. The main idea with this video is to look through the decks you have and aren't really using very much, and just to consider them. Consider whether you could maybe do something to start using them more, or whether they're ready to be passed on, or maybe you're okay with not using them very much. So I have stats, I have decks. Let's get into it. So this VR has 3 categories. I'll be showing you 3 decks today, and then within each category there are 3 questions to answer. So category 1 is a deck you haven't used in a while, or used at all, or just not very much. This is the Lazy Crow. I bought it in 2023. I used it 4 times in 2023, 4 times in 2024, 0 times in 2025, and 0 times so far in 2026. First question is how or why I acquired the deck in the first place. And honestly, I saw it online. I loved it. It was an impulse purchase. I saw it. I didn't even bother looking at all the cards. I just bought it. I love the art so much, and I didn't have any other deck with this style of art. It ticks a lot of my boxes. It's RWS. The cardstock is the cardstock I like. It's like a thinner, bendier cardstock. It's standard size. I love it. So why am I not using it? And why, even when I was using it, did I only use it 4 times in a year? Honestly, I like looking at it, but I don't love reading with it. I just have a hard time getting messages from it. I've got other decks that bring me a lot of joy, like this one, but that I have an easier time reading with them. I just don't pick it off the shelf. I think maybe in my mind now I see it as a deck that just doesn't really work for me. And so I just don't grab it, right? I've got this sort of assumption in my head. I still think it's a great deck. I love the art. I just don't pick it up to read with it. Question 3, what could we change about the problem? Right? If we want to change the problem, how to start using it or pass it on. So honestly, I think I might be ready to pass it on. I have not given away any decks or sold any decks before. I've just kept my collection as it is, but I think I'm ready. I know some in-person tarot readers where I live, local to me. There are people in my family who are starting to get into tarot, and maybe I'll just pass it on to one of them if they're interested. I also am a professional reader, and I offer blind date with a tarot reading. So I'll choose cards from an oracle and a tarot deck, and then I send those cards with the reading to you in the mail. So I've thought about using this for one of those, because I can, sit with the card and take my time with it, instead of maybe the pressure of reading. I don't know. I have the sense that if I can sit with the card and really think it through and write out the reading instead of speaking the reading, that I would get a good reading from it. And it's just such great art. I would love to send these to people. I think this would be fun to get in the mail and see a deck that looks like this. So that's a possibility. I might do that. But honestly, I've talked about it in a couple videos now. I've done my deck collections, which I can link those below too. This was in the indie deck collection. After talking about it there and about my rules for buying a new deck, I brought it up in that one too. I feel more comfortable moving it on. I don't need to hold on to this. It doesn't offer me a new perspective on the cards. It's just great art. So I'm not going to lose a perspective by passing it on, or by, separating it out into those blind date readings. I think I like the idea of passing it on to someone who would love it and use it more than I do. It's a really special deck. And I think maybe, it's time sitting with this VR and seeing other people's responses to it and learning how other people are working their way through these decks. I think, look, I love her. I love her. I think maybe I'm ready. I think it might be time. I can pass it on to somebody who can enjoy it, so it doesn't sit on my deck, on my shelf year after year, not being used. That is, again, the Lazy Crow, and here's the beautiful box. Category 2 is an oldie but a goodie. So a deck that I used a lot for a while, but lately it's sort of just faded into the background. And for this one, I chose Journey to Enlightenment. I bought this deck in 2024. I used it 13 times in 2024, and that was just a portion of the year. It's not like I bought it in January. So I used it 13 times that year I first got it, twice in 2025, and not at all so far this year. So how I acquired it, I saw it online and I liked the art so much. I don't have anything else quite like it. I liked the size of the cards. They're not a standard size. They're a little shorter and wider, but they're not large. They're not Oracle size. I just thought it was such cool art, like how the people are sort of hidden in it. There's a lot to look at. It's just a very cool deck. And I did do a little research on it. And I actually found it, maybe it was on Thrift Books, so I got it for a really budget-friendly price. And I love this deck. I'm very happy with it. So why am I not using it anymore? Honestly, I have no idea. I have no idea. I suspect that I just have it in a place on my shelf where it doesn't stand out. And I store my decks kind of upright like this. And so this is the box. And so I don't know, maybe does it fade into the shelf in a way? I can't tell. But I love the art. I get great readings from it. Look at him. I love it so much. Get great readings from it. I do find that it is a deck that maybe I'll pull 1 or 2 cards. Because can you imagine this in a gigantic spread? There's just a lot going on with these cards. So I pull maybe 1 or 2 cards, and I do need to sit with them for a while. There's just a lot to be seen, a lot to be kind of gathered from these cards. So maybe I'm more drawn to it for personal readings instead of client readings, just because I do feel a little limited on how many cards. So great for a daily draw, great for a nighttime journal session. What could I change about the problem? So question 3. I'm not going to pass this deck on. I love it. So I do want to change this problem. I know I get good readings from it. I love it. So I think what I'm going to do is move it to a different place on my shelf so that maybe I can see it a little bit more prominently. I'll also take it up to my work desk. I take a little kind of capsule collection up to my work desk every week. Usually I just look at my shelf and see which decks are winking at me, and then I take those. But I think I'll deliberately take this one up this coming week, and maybe for a few weeks in a row, just to try to get back into it. I'm also going to read the guidebook. I have not, I dip into guidebooks, but I usually don't go cover to cover. This one, there is a message, a theme, a lens that this deck is coming from. So maybe getting into the guidebook will help me kind of parse through the cards a little bit too, help me bond with the deck a little bit. I think those 2 things will really help. Honestly, just sort of putting it more in front of my face and then learning about it a little more should kind of help me jump back into the deck. Because gosh, I adore it. I have no intention of getting rid of this deck. This art is really neat, and I just have such a fun time reading with it. So this is a keeper, and I will just try to get it back into my rotation so that I can get it, get a few more uses this year, and so it doesn't just sit there waiting for me. Okay, again, let me show you again. That is Journey to Enlightenment. Category 3 is a little trickier for me because I couldn't just rely on my stats. My spreadsheet did not give me an easy answer for this one. Category 3 is a deck that makes me reassess my approach or my personal tastes. It could be a deck that I got as to try to fill a hole in my collection, or something I got because maybe I was aspiring to it, something like that. But anyway, the idea is that it's kind of helping me to reassess my style or what I want out of tarot decks. And for this one, I chose the Forager's Daughter because I love this art style. I cannot handle how gorgeous this deck is. I love animals. I really, really, really love animals. And I can't read with it. And I talked about this in my deck collection video. I do not know why I can't read with it. It's everything I would love. So I got this in 2023 and I read with it 17 times that year. Obsessed, reaching for it constantly. And then I haven't read with it since. That doesn't mean I haven't pulled it out to learn about cards from it. It's got a different perspective. It reveals different things than my other decks do. I just don't read with it. So again, I'm just going to jump to the last answer. I'm not moving this on. I love it too much. I just want to maybe work on getting over that hump of feeling like I can't read with it. So I, bought this for myself. It wasn't a gift or anything. I saw it probably here on TarotTube and fell in love with it. Love the art style. I did think about it long and hard. It's an indie deck, and so I want to be careful with my budget. So I did, watch walkthroughs and learned more about the deck. I asked people online their impression of it. Somebody recommended getting the guidebook, which I did, and decided like this was going to be for me. I had to have it. But I don't know, maybe there was a little hype online. I don't know. I think back in 2023, I got a lot of decks that year, and it was before I really understood what I really like in a deck. And I think maybe I just didn't understand. Like, I have a hard time reading animal decks. And now I know that. And so I can admire them, but I don't buy them because I know I'm not going to read with them. And also, I've just gotten more decks since this time. So maybe that first year when I read with it 17 times, I didn't have very many decks, and so it showed up in my readings more, but now I'm just reaching for other things. So yeah, that's really, question 2 is why I'm not using it anymore. I don't read from it. I use it more for study and perspective, but I don't read with it. And so what can I change about the problem if I want to fix it? I think I'll do the same thing as with that last deck. I'll bring it upstairs and just try to get used to it. See if maybe as a more experienced reader, it's been like years since I used it in readings. So maybe as a much more experienced reader, this will make more sense to me and I'll get better readings from it. Sort of that idea of, I have decided that this is a deck that I can't get a good reading from, so why reach for it? So if I can force myself to do it, I think that'll make a difference. Or at least I will have given it the opportunity to make a difference for me. Definitely not moving it on. Love it. I cherish it. I don't have a problem with having decks in my collection that are there for learning, that are there because I love looking at them. So even if I end up not reading with it, I'll still keep it. I would like to read with it, but if I can't, that's not a problem for me. I think that's the difference between this one and the Lazy Crow for me, that because this is a different perspective and I can take it out and compare it to other decks and gain something new from it, I want to keep it in my collection. Whereas if I'm not gaining a new perspective, I think I would rather have that deck move on to somebody else who would love it and use it. Whereas this one, it's okay if I just love it. It's okay if I just use it for study and learning and new perspective. But I'll give it a try. Maybe bring the deck and the guidebook upstairs and see if I can't learn a little something more about it. See if I can't get a little more from the symbols the artist has put into it. Learn more about the plants they chose and all of that. So yeah, I'll give it a try. That is the deck recheck. You can watch to see if I actually do end up bringing these up to my desk, because I've started posting a decks at my desk this week. So you can see what decks I've got in my little capsule collection. So yeah, accountability opportunity. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe for more tarot content, and thanks for stopping by.